Hello, hello, hello. What ho? Welcome back to another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finley on Travis Finley. I have to do this in my car because I don't have noise-canceling headphones and it is very blustery and windy out. And I did this earlier in Baltimore with more beautiful setting, but it was just pure wind. You couldn't hear anything I said. So, a needle pulling thread. Here we go. There's the sun. The moon, if you get out an app, the moon is right here-ish, okay? But you cannot see the moon right now because the glory of Solaris is overwhelming to Luna, and she is the lesser light. The glory of Solaris washes out the light of the moon. We cannot see the moon right now, but the moon is right here. As we follow, this is a beautiful day. I hope it stays this way. As you follow the sun and the moon all day long, here's the horizon. But if I were in a larger place with open space, the horizon would be farther away. But later on today, Luna is trailing behind her king. As Solaris leaves the sky and takes his glory with him, we will see Luna reveal her waxing crescent. When? Tonight at dusk. That is the new moon. The new moon isn't right now. The new moon isn't last night. The new moon wasn't Saturday. The new moon is tonight when we see the crescent moon for the very first time. Because, in my opinion, well, first of all, let me say this. I couldn't watch the sky for the past 3 days because it was raining. It was just unfortunate, disappointing, and unfortunate. So here I am on the backside of the new moon phase, the transition between the waning and the waxing, right? We are in now the waxing phase. You cannot see it. The waxing phase actually hasn't started yet because you can't see it. Don't tell me what mainstream science says. Don't tell me what your app says. We're 1.4 days into the new moon. No, you're not. Because you haven't seen the moon yet. It's not new. It's only new when it shows up at twilight, at dusk, following the waning crescent. Excuse me, the science of our calendar is disinformation. Our calendar is unnatural and antithetical to our spiritual and physiological development and health. We need to ignore the mainstream media. We need to start paying attention to the sky ourselves, which is what I'm trying to do here as best I can, in the fact that I'm occupied by having to drive for Uber or Lyft, wherever it is. If I had to be at work right now, if I was in a truck like I used to be, on the road like that guy right there, right? I wouldn't be able to be even doing this right now with you. I'd be so preoccupied, I wouldn't be, and then when I'm home, I don't feel like this entire system that we live in is antithetical to our recreation with nature. So why am I on this rant? Because science tells us one thing about the moon and her cycles, about Luna and her cycles, and they're wrong. And I'm getting kickback from even close friends who are so familiar with the system that my suggestion isn't making sense to them. And they're like, but the system says this, but this, but this, but this. And I'm not discounting what they're saying. We have to, I do at least, because, I'm coming at this from my perspective and my experience, and I don't have that exposure. Like, I have two friends that are very well spoken in this thing where they're like, no, Travis, this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, but listen to what I'm saying. when you see tonight, I'm going to publish this, I don't know when you're going to see this, whatever. Hopefully you'll see it today so that you have enough time to prepare in your mind to be ready for the sunset, ready for twilight, ready for dusk. Okay? So I'm going to, again, this is now the third month, December, January, February, March. This is now the third month where I've tried to keep this in mind. So tonight, in my estimation, tonight is going to be when we see the moon again newly. Right? That's the new moon. So when we see it tonight, we start counting. Okay, so today's the 11th, right? So from the 11th until we see the full moon, we need to count those days. Don't tell me how many you think they are right now. No. Count the days. That's your confirmation. That's your evidence. That's your undeniable fact. I saw the new moon on the 11th. I saw the full moon on the 25th. I'm just making that up. I'm just being generic, right? And then I saw the last waning crescent on April 6th or 7th. Okay? If you can document each of those days, and you include the 3 days and 2 nights where you cannot see the moon, you should have 31 days. Don't glitch out on me and go, no. Let nature tell you how long the moon cycle is. You watch Luna. You record day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And then do it again the next month. And then do it again the next month. And then do it again the next month. But even in the experience that I have right now as an Uber driver, I still have not had the time to be looking at the sky when the moon is there and I can log, because the sky gets covered with clouds. I don't know what the moon looks like. I don't know where it is. And then life is just the way it is. I'm not an astronomer and I don't get paid, although I should, to do this research. Should be very clear what I mean by what I'm saying right now. Right now, I'm simply talking about the visibility of the moon and the invisibility of the moon belonging to one cycle cut into 2 phases with different stages or phases between those two, right? So you have the full moon. Its opposite is the new moon, so to speak. But that new moon period is 3 days, 2 nights, roughly. Okay? Whereas the full moon's only 1 day-ish. The new moon is 3 days. Undeniable. Undeniable. And I'm talking about viewing. See, I have to make all of these qualifications because people out there listening to the sultry sound of my voice right now are like, yeah, but no. With the naked eye. Oh, no, we can see the moon with filters. And yeah, that doesn't count. Because measuring the moon and using the moon to measure a month depends on the visibility of the moon and then the cushion space between those 2 phases of waxing and waning. Okay? So the moon's cycle is cut in half evenly by the full moon, new moon, cut that in half, boom, you have 2 equal parts. You have the waning and the waxing. They match up. They're opposites. They're reciprocal. They're yin and yang. And then in the waning, you have it cut in half by the half moon. And then in the waxing, you have the moon cut in half halfway through. The moon is its own revelation of timekeeping. You should know what time it is. You should know what phase. You should know what part of a month. Doesn't matter if it's January. Doesn't matter if it's April. The moon does the same thing in April as it did in January, but January has 31 days and April doesn't. That is not natural. January has 31 days. March has 31 days. February has 28. That is not natural. And that's not the way the moon works. You can't divide the moon's cycle between 2 months so that you can just mix and match and whatever and come up with it doesn't work that way. I challenge anyone out there up to this point, if you're still listening to the sultry sound of my voice, first of all, thank you very much. Second of all, if you've made it this far and you find this interesting, get ready. It's just going to get better. Hit that like, smash that Fonzarelli. Make a comment, leave a comment, and then share this content and say, listen, share this. Hey, check this video out. Listen to what this guy's saying. What do you think? Okay? Every single month, if we were to take the calendar away, take January all the way through, take those labels away and just watch the moon, every single time we watch the moon, it would be 31 days. All right, so my phone overheated because I was holding it up and it was in direct sunlight and it wasn't plugged in, so I don't know. Maybe there's an internal cooling system that didn't work. Anyway, my phone, so I'm going to try to wrap it up. Here we go. Ready? If we were to just simply watch the moon and let Luna expose herself to us, mark off and chart each of those days ourselves, and include the period of time between the between the waning and the waxing, that's when the new moon transition happens. Okay? If we were to do that, we would find that the measure of time conducted by Luna is the same every single time we measure her. We don't get 28 days one day. We don't get 30 days 1 month. We don't get 31 days 1 month. That's not natural. Throw away your calendars, throw away your charts, use them as reference later on to double check your work. But right now, just go with nature. You will not miss any days. You will not lose any days. You will not figure out where did this phase go. No, but if you go ahead and Google today, go Google any year moon chart, and you look up and you find and you try to match up. If you try to match up the moon's phases, you will find that there are missing phases. Where did they go? The calendar is not natural. The calendar is a fabrication. You can put in what you want, take out what you want. That's why February has 28 or 29 days, because they just stick shit in, take shit out. But that's not what happens. Luna doesn't not have that phase this month. But if you look at a calendar, you'll see this phase in April, this phase in May, this phase in April, this phase in May, this phase in April. It's missing in May. Where'd it go? I've done that myself. It's on my channel. I've done it. Do it yourself. Fact check me. Okay? This world needs an enema. And we need to do this together. I am the messenger. You are the audience. Hopefully you will fact check me and you will see that it is true, and then you will become a messenger yourself. This has been another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth on Travis Finley. I'm your host, Travis Finley. Until next time.